All right, today we are tackling one of the absolute best projects you can do if you're trying to break into cybersecurity, building your own home lab. And you know what the best part is? You can do this whole thing from scratch for free. So let's dive right in.
So let's frame it this way. Think of this as your official mission briefing. Your objective? It's to get your hands dirty with real cybersecurity tools and start building that rock-solid foundation for your career. The real question is, are you ready to accept this mission?
Awesome. So, in this briefing, we're going to walk through everything you need step by step. We're talking about the gear, the software, and even your very first training exercises. And listen, no prior experience is required at all.
Okay, first things first. Why is this mission so important? I mean, why should you, someone who's just starting out, actually take the time to build a home lab? Here's the absolute key takeaway. A home lab takes you out of the textbook and puts you right in the driver's seat. Seriously, it is the #1 way to get practical, hands-on experience. You get to practice real skills like vulnerability scanning and network analysis, and believe me, that is exactly what employers are looking for.
And you know, a home lab is also incredibly versatile. It doesn't matter if you're drawn to the red team, that's the offensive side, where you learn to think like an attacker and find weaknesses, or if you're more into the blue team, the defensive side, protecting systems as a SOC analyst. This lab, it's your fundamental training ground for both. It really works for the whole shebang.
All right, mission accepted. Let's talk about the gear you'll need. And honestly, I think you're going to be really surprised at just how accessible this all is. Chances are you already have everything you need sitting right in front of you.
So you just need a standard laptop or a PC, nothing fancy. The main thing to pay attention to here is the RAM. Now, you can totally get by with 8 gigs, but 16 gigs is really the sweet spot, and here's why. We're going to be running a virtual machine on top of your main operating system, and that VM needs its own dedicated resources to run nice and smooth.
Now, this is probably the best part. Your entire software toolkit is 100% free. First, you'll need what's called virtualization software, like VMware or VirtualBox. Both have totally free versions, so just pick whichever one you like. Then, you're going to download the Kali Linux ISO file. Don't let the name scare you, it's just the installation file, and you'll get it straight from their official website. That's literally it.
Okay, so with our gear and software all ready to go, it is time for the main event, actually assembling your lab. And don't worry, we're going to break this down into a super simple 5-step process.
All right, here is the 5-step plan. Step 1, install that virtualization software you just downloaded. Step 2, grab that official Kali Linux ISO file. 3, inside your virtualization program, you're just going to click Create a new virtual machine. Now, step 4 is super important. You've got to allocate resources. Give it at least 4 gigs of RAM and about 30 to 40 gigs of storage space. And finally, step 5, you just tell the new VM where that Kali ISO file is and then follow the on-screen prompts. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, once you've set up your username and password and you've logged in for the first time, this is the very first thing you need to do. Open up the terminal and type in this command. What this does is it tells your brand new system to update and upgrade all of the security tools that come pre-installed. This just makes sure you're working with the absolute latest and greatest versions right from the get-go.
And just like that, you've done it. Seriously, it really is that simple to get set up. You now have a basic but totally functional cybersecurity lab. But of course, this is where the real fun begins.
So, your lab is officially online. Now what? Well, now it's time to learn how to actually control it. And that whole journey starts with the single most essential tool for any cyber pro, the command line.
Here's a perfect example of what I mean. Kali Linux comes loaded with tons of tools, right? But what if you need a new one, like the super popular web auditing tool Burp Suite? Well, you don't go to some app store. Nope, you just type a simple command. This is exactly how you're going to manage your entire toolkit.
So, why is this so critical? Well, because a lot of the most powerful hacking and security tools, they don't have a graphical user interface. We're talking no buttons, no menus, nothing. The command line is the only way to use them. It's kind of like the native language of Linux. It lets you get direct, surgical control over your system, and trust me, getting comfortable with it is absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, so you've built the lab, you're starting to get comfortable with the controls, now we get to the most exciting part, actually putting it to use. Let's talk about your first field assignments.
So where do you even start practicing your new skills? Well, you practice on targets that were literally made to be hacked. They're called vulnerable by design applications. And what they do is give you a totally safe, and more importantly, a totally legal environment to test out exploits and really learn how real-world vulnerabilities work.
And two of the most famous training grounds out there are OWASP Juice Shop and Metasploitable. You can install these right inside your own lab and just start practicing on insecure web apps right away. It's the perfect way to get that real-world experience without, breaking any laws.
Another fantastic way to train your skills is by jumping into something called Capture the Flags, or CTFs for short. Think of them like online hacking competitions. You solve puzzles, you exploit vulnerabilities, all to find a hidden flag, which is usually just a little piece of text. It's a really fun, gamified way to learn.
You can find a whole schedule of upcoming events on websites like CTF Time, and what's so great about them is that the challenges cover both offensive and defensive skills. Most of them are totally free to join, and a lot of them even offer prizes for the top performers. It's just a fantastic way to sharpen your abilities.
And with that, your mission briefing is complete. You have the knowledge, you have the tools, and you have the training plan. Your personal cybersecurity home lab is officially online and ready for you to get started today.
So, this is where your training really begins. The lab is built, the targets are waiting, and there is a whole world of security concepts out there just ready to be explored. The only question left is, what will you discover first?